Today, we'll talk about the crucial role of spinal articulation in poses. What is a pose? It's a moment of stillness in dance, an expressive angle of your body, a gesture of your arms and hands, a tilt of your head, the moment when your body language can be at its highest expressivity. Your pose should portray an emotion. It should say something, communicate with your audience. Poses are an important tool in maintaining good pacing in dance, so that your dance is not rushed, so that it's unfolding gradually. Poses help create moments of suspense and break the monotony of travel steps and hip work driven by the beat. Today, we'll talk about what makes poses expressive. A pose can be amazingly evocative, and it can be banal, depending on how you execute it. One element that is typically overlooked in belly dance instruction is the role of your spine and spinal articulation in expressivity of our body language. Today, we'll learn to add spinal articulation to poses, the most obvious application of expressive body language. You can make a step like this, a plain step, or you can layer a spinal wave, what we call undulation layer on it. Step. Your step suddenly has emotional coloring or portrays an intent. Maybe it's attraction or reaching out or opening up. As audience, we always tend to read something into a dancer's expressive body language, a story, an emotion. We always read something into the pose or a gesture when we see it. And here, when we do this step, we're not even using our arms and hands. It's just your spine, the expressivity of your spinal articulation. It's a regular, very shallow undulation layered on your step. Once again, look at this. Plain step and step with a spinal wave. Spinal articulation is the basis of all full body expressivity. So let us now, for instance, step in this classic belly dance final pose. Step. Now add a reversed undulation as you assume your pose. Here we go. See, a totally different look. There is a sense of progression. You're opening like a flower gradually. Your look is fluid. It's basically a kinesthetically talented look, the look of a great mover. There are various types of spinal movement useful for creating beautiful effects in poses. We'll look today at undulations, regular and reversed, a deep upper spine arch, and also tilts and rotations of your upper body. In belly dance, hip work is the key element that gives belly dance its look and flavor. But hip work is not a great vehicle for your body language, for expressing emotion or telling a story. It's the upper body movement, arm and hand gestures and movements of your head that make your audience read emotional content into your dance. That's why very often less skilled dancers who use evocative body language and spinal articulation often end up more admired by their audiences than much more skilled artists whose dance is all cascades of tricky accents, but a bit dry when it comes to emotional expressivity. And let us make this clear, evocativeness of your dance is not your facial expressions or even hand gestures. It's the technique of your spinal movement and angles of your body, your upper body, head, and arm paths. If your body is stiff and inexpressive on the level of technique, no orgasmic facial expressions or Lebanese headache gestures will make your dance more charismatic. Today, we'll start by practicing stepping into a pose with elements of spinal articulation, and will attach an image of an emotion or an element of a story to each movement to make it actually express something.